This is Todd Frazee, and this is the tutorial to develop the model and drawing for the hand wheel project for Unit 7. And this part drawing is on page 811. And we're actually going to draw an opposite orientation as the example in the book. We're going to look at it from what will be front on our drawing would be the back of the part. And that way we can display the 16 millimeter diameter by 22 millimeter deep counterbore as a visible line in the front view. And that will eliminate any hidden lines in this drawing if our second view is a aligned section view. Okay, so we're in model space. We're going to start off in world coordinate system, and we're going to revolve this in the right view. Okay, so we're going to make our sections we're going to revolve around in the right hand view. Now, as is my practice, and you don't have to do it this way, but this is how I do it. I start off with a line at origin going vertical, and another one going horizontal, just like I did on a piece of drafting paper. This front edge here, this left, that is going to be what would be the face of the hub where the handle plugs in to a shaft, and then everything else is going to be to the right of it. All right, so let's do some offsets. Let's offset our outside dimensions. So our outside dimensions of the hub, it is 40 millimeters tall, which would be like so. I'm going to zoom out to find our line. And then it is, the hub itself is 40 millimeters in diameter, so we're going to offset half of that, because it's a radius, up. And we'll have to likely zoom out again too to see those lines, because we're working in metric on this one. All right, and so now let's offset the dimensions we need for the counterbore. So the counterbore diameter is 16, so that means we're going to offset 8 millimeters from center line. And then we will enter the offset command again, and we're going to go 22 millimeters for the depth. Okay, so it gives us most of the geometry we need. Okay, so I am going to put in a kind of a bogus line, construction line, just so I can use the extend command. You could use a different command to do that, but that's what I'm in the habit of doing. And that'll allow us to extend everything else to where it needs to go. Okay, now we can come back and we can delete our line here, and then we can switch to the trim command and trim off the tails we don't need. Okay, so there's our basic profile of the hub. Now it does have a radius out here, so we're going to use the line fillet tool, and we're going to set our radius as 6 millimeters as the drawing says, and put that on the outside edge. All right, now let's place the circle that will be the handle. Okay, so it appears to be, according to the drawing, 50 millimeters from the base. So let's put in that 50. And then it is 100, the center of it is 140 diameter. So that's going to be a 70 radius. So offset from there. So the intersection of those two lines is the center of our circle. So we'll do another little extension here. All right. So where those two lines intersect is where our circle is going to be. And it's a 20 millimeter diameter. So I'm doing a circle by diameter that's 20. And now we can delete these other entities. We don't need them. Okay, so those are positioned in relationship to each other like they should be. And I do want to throw some other construction in here. Later, we are going to have to make spoke that connects the hub with the rim. So I'm actually going to switch to construction layer. The hub, it intersects a point that's on center line that's 15 millimeters in, and then it picks up the center of the circle. So let's do that. Let's offset by 15 millimeters. So I'm going to draw a construction line that would be on center, and I'm going to extend the line I just offset by 15. So the intersection of those two lines should generate the line we're going to need later. I'm going to turn ortho off and the snap grid, and need to have center selected, and I'll draw a line that goes to the middle of the arc. So this line will be a construction line that we can leverage later to make our spoke. So we'll go ahead and delete these other things here. And then I'm going to switch back to the model layer. And I actually think I'll make the construction layer invisible for now. So it's not there. Okay, so we want to revolve this as a revolve solid. So I'm going to turn this grouping into a region. So we're going to go to Draw, Region, and it says, what do you want to make in the region? I select everything, and I hit Enter. And it should be all in one region now. All right, so before we revolve this, we need to create a line, and it's just going to be used for revolving. So we'll go from origin over to the right. And that's all that line's for. Okay, so now we go to the revolve command, and we're going to revolve. We're going to select our region, and we're going to select our circle. We're going to hit Enter to accept those, and then it's asking, what do you want your center of rotation to be? And I want it to be the object I drew, object, and I select my line. And now it's asking you how many degrees you want to go. So I want to go 360, which is the default. So we now have these two bodies. They're not joined together, but we've effectively created two of the bodies we need to make the hand wheel. Okay, so now we're going to draw one spoke, and we're going to model one spoke, and then we are going to do a polar array on that spoke. We'll have to explode the spoke, its array, and then we should be able to merge them into one solid. Okay, so let's go back to wireframe. And we're going to go back to the view we were in, which was the right side view. So let's go plan. Okay, we're back in our current UCS. We're going to go back to the layers, and I'm going to make that construction layer visible. Okay, so we have our our blue line, construction line we want to use. And we're going to allow that spoke to intersect the other two bodies. All right, so we're going to go to offset. We're going to do offset, but before we do offset, I want to set my layer setting. Layer, and I want the offset to be in my current layer. I don't want it to stay in the construction layer. And we're going to offset half the thickness of our rib, which is 3.5, and we're going to go in both directions for a total of 7. And now we're going to connect the endpoints. I'm going to turn ortho off and the grid, and we'll connect the endpoints of the piece. Now we don't want to create a solid inside our bore that we already made, so let's create a line on the endpoints, and we'll use that to offset outward. So let's go an offset of 12. Okay, so our bar shape is still going to intersect. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to trim, and we'll trim off these two tails here, and then we can delete the construction line now and the other pieces. So we have this shape now that is drawn in the right view that we can either use the extrude command or we can use press pull. So if we use press pull, and the thickness is 16 total, so we'll go 8. And then we're going to repeat the press pull on the opposite side, and we're going to go another 8. And that gives us our profile. So by doing the press pull on top of the existing press pull, we've created one solid there. Now we have a dilemma here. We can try to do fillets all at the end, or we can try to do some of them before we do this revolution. I'm going to risk it and put them on this piece because AutoCAD's not the best at doing fillets, and so let's give that a shot. So we're going to go to the solid tab, we're going to do a fillet edge, and we're going to pick the 4 sides of the spoke and go ahead and put those fillets on. And the radius on those fillets are 2 millimeters. Alright, so we have our 2 millimeter fillets on the feature. Okay, so now we want to do a polar array. So we're going to go back home, and we're going to go to the array and select polar array. And the object we're going to array is the spoke. And we're going to use a axis of rotation. And the first point or axis rotation will be the center of our bore, and the second one we'll pick is the center of the opposite end of it. Now it's previewing, it's by default making 6. What we want to do is type the letter I for items, and we're going to change it from 6 to 3 and hit enter to exit. So now we have our 3 spokes, and if I change from wireframe conceptual, this is what we have so far. All right, now the next step is to we need to explode the array because it won't allow us to merge these bodies together otherwise. Okay, we're going to go to wireframe, and we're going to type explode with an E. And we're going to select our array and hit enter. And now we should have separate bodies for each of the spokes. Okay, now we're going to do a combined body. So this will bring all, 5 parts together. So let's union our outside rim with the spokes and the hub. And if everything works, it should look like so. And now we have one solid piece. Excellent time to save. And I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup on geometry. I don't really want this rectangle here that we made the spokes from, or the circle. So let's get rid of those. Actually, the circle's not there. That's part of the patch line of the solid. All right. Let's save that up, because you know what it is? It's fillet time. We're going to attempt to wrap the fillets around the ends of the spokes. So I'm going to save, that way I can come back in. We're going to go to solid, and we're going to fillet edge. And we're going to set our radius as 2. And we're going to start selecting edges and see if we can get them to link up. At this point in the video, I've sped it up about 4 times, so you don't have to watch me do the same fillet over and over. And wow, I am fast at 4 times speed. We keep tracing around. I don't know. I'm having problems with the graphics card on my computer, so that may be causing those blue lines to appear. And it only happens to me when I'm doing the fillet command. Imagine that. Alright, now let's attempt to do them near the hub. Turbo time again. Look at him go. Okay, one more. Then we cross our fingers and hope it works. It looks like all my fillets worked. And we'll go to conceptual. Okay, it looks good. Alright, well, hopefully you have success with that too. And that completes the modeling portion of this tutorial. We'll move into creating the flat shots and the sections in the next segment.